Hey y'all, Briana Kid with High Country Yoga here. Today's practice is all about non-attachment. Non-attachment is one of the most key principles in the yoga practice because it's all about letting go. As we move through our life, sometimes we can get stuck without noticing. What I mean by this is we'll have a really great experience in our life that brings us happiness or joy, and then we want to hold on to it. So we kind of create this reserve of joy. For example, we're in a relationship and it's going really well. We're experiencing joy and harmony in this relationship. So we take that joy and harmony and we save it within ourselves, right? We had a great experience, it felt awesome, and so we want to hold on to that just in case there's not that great experience to come, right? Where in case we don't feel happy or joy in the future, we've got it in the past to pull back. And then for whatever reason, you break up with this person and you move on into a new relationship. In this new relationship, it's never gonna be like the old relationship, but there's something that's drawing us back to that old memory of happiness. And so in order to fully experience your new relationship authentically, we want to let go of our attachment to the previous relationship. Then we can fully feel fulfilled within our new relationship. So as we move through our practice today, we're going to start to notice that sometimes we can hold this attachment, we can hold this tension within our body. As we're moving through this idea of non-attachment, it's important to not compare the joy that is present in the moment to something that you've experienced in the past or something that you may want to experience in the future. And really, truly believe within yourself that the joy lies right now. We can notice if we're holding on or attached to anything by taking a deeper look at our body. So in today's yoga practice, we're going to dive into the body and see where we might be holding some tension or some reserves that maybe we want to let go of. A lot of times, tension or stress will settle into our hips. So today's practice, we're going to mainly focus on opening up our hips, bringing any tension, stress, or reserves of whatever it is to the surface and letting it go. So let's go ahead and find our mat and get started. Today we're going to start on our back. So you can go ahead and lay down.
And let's begin today by bringing our knees into our chest. You can hug your knees with your hands or hold the backs of your thighs with your hands. And take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you breathe out of your mouth, bring your knees a little bit closer into your chest. One more time, deep breath in. And as you breathe out of the mouth, bring the knees a little bit closer in. And then you can gently rock side to side on your back, starting to wake up your body for your yoga practice. We'll start by checking in with our hips. So we'll take our feet down into the mat and cross our right ankle over our left knee. For pigeon on your back, lift your left foot off of the mat. We'll reach the right hand through the legs and interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. Now, if this grip is not accessible for you, it is okay to keep your left foot on the mat and use your right hand to press your right knee forwards today. If both feet are lifted, you want to make sure that you flex both feet, so you're drawing the toes back towards the shin bones. In this way, we'll protect our knees as we start to check in with our hips. Just start to notice your outer right hip. Take a deep breath into it. And monitor what you're feeling here, noticing The hips, the outer hips especially, sometimes we hold on. And there's stress or tension that's starting to build up in the hips. And this is our first opportunity within our practice to begin the releasing process. Taking one more breath on this side. And then gently release. Take 2 feet into the mat again. And change sides, bringing left ankle over right knee and lifting the right foot off of the mat, reaching the left hand through the legs to interlace the fingers behind the right thigh. Flexing through both feet, relaxing your shoulders, and monitoring here that you might feel a difference in this side as compared to the first side. For me, there's a big difference, meaning that I might be favoring one side as I move through my day over the other side. So just being the observer, taking another breath, noticing how you feel. And then gently releasing the posture. We'll extend our legs long onto the mat, reach the hands back behind you, take a full body stretch. And then bend the knees, walk the feet onto the mat, and roll over onto your right side, gently using your hands to press up to a comfortable seated position. From here, we're going to flip our body right over into our tabletop, so you can place your hands down, either rolling over your legs or bringing your feet out to the side and then back behind you, finding your tabletop. And so let's keep connecting to our hips. We're going to walk our hands about a handprint forwards from our tabletop position and start to make some big, wide circles with our hips. This is going to help us to check in with all 4 corners of the hips and really notice what's in there that we might want to bring to the surface and let go. Taking another circle in this direction, massaging out the hips with this movement. And then inhaling at the center, and as you exhale, begin taking your hip circles in the opposite direction, bringing that balance into your practice. This should feel really nice for the hips. One more time around. Good. Let's bring our hands back underneath our shoulders. You want to spread your fingers wide, like you're sparking up your mat with your fingertips. And we'll curl our toes under, lift the knees, lift the hips, and start to slide your chest back, coming into downward facing dog. Let's loosen up our downward dog a little bit by bending one knee, sinking the opposite heel down, and then switch. So pedaling out the legs a couple more times at your own pace, keeping those arms nice and strong and straight. You're doing a great job here. It's hard to hold up all of our body weight here in this posture. When you're ready, keep your heels a little lifted, your knees a little bit bent, and see if you can make a straight line in your downward dog from your wrist to your shoulders, all the way up through your hips, head in line with the spine. Take a breath. Then we'll inhale, look forwards towards our hands, and exhale, start to walk the feet forwards to meet your hands, finding a standing forward fold. Measure about 2 fist distance between your 2 feet. Bend your knees until the ribs are touching the tops of the thighs, and then let your head hang heavy as you hold on to opposite elbows in a ragdoll shape. So my arms, my head are hanging heavy here, and I'm focusing on letting the weight of my upper body be completely surrendered, not holding on to anything in the upper half of my body. In my lower half, I'm creating a strong foundation where my knees are a little bit bent, so my thighs are supporting the torso. You might stay still here, Or you might like to gently rock side to side, or my favorite is to take a little bit of the weight of my torso, lift it up, and drop it down. So this is really symbolic here of feeling that we're surrendering the weight of our body to gravity. We're letting go of any holding on or clinging. We'll gently release our hands down, and to prepare to come up to standing, we're going to bend the knees even more. Let the arms hang heavy, push through the feet, and we'll roll up one vertebrae at a time, not bringing any excess with us. And when you make it to the top, we're going to roll the shoulders up and back and down the spine. And we're going to move into tree pose. So for tree pose, you want to feel grounded through your left foot. Really spread your left toes wide into the mat. And we'll lift our right leg up. Maybe you want to bring it into a kickstand to help with your balance today. Or maybe if for a little bit more challenge, lifting your right foot into your inner calf. Or for the most challenge today, you can bring your foot into your inner thigh. And we'll gather hands together at heart center. So from here, just making sure that your two hips are at the same height. Sometimes we hike one hip up or we sink down into the other hip, right? This is throwing me off my balance. So we're going to come back to the center, two hips at the same height. And on the inhale, we'll reach the arms up. And on the exhale, we'll open the branches of the tree, relaxing the shoulders down away from the ears. So in this posture, it's easy to kind of feel like you want it to be perfect, right? No, I have good balance, right? This is a perfect posture. But we want to leave room for error. If the wind blows, the tree moves, right? So here I am just allowing there to be a little bit of movement. And I'm not focused or attached to the idea of perfection. So finding perfection amongst the imperfections of the posture. Take another breath here, experiencing your tree pose. And then gently releasing your hands down through heart center, and your right foot comes down into the mat. Ooh, you can shake out that left side if you need to. And then we'll change over to the other side. So spreading those right toes wide into the mat. Taking any variation, you have your kickstand, inner calf, or maybe bringing your foot into your inner thigh. It doesn't have to be the same on this side as it was on the first side. Taking those hands together at heart center. Finding your balance. It will help to find your balance if you fixate your gaze, finding your drishti. I don't want to look straight forwards. I don't want to look straight down. I want to look somewhere a little bit forwards and down at a single point of focus to help me keep my balance. Once I've fixated my gaze, then I can reach the arms up and open the branches of the tree. This helps to relax the shoulders down and out of the ears, taking up some space here in your tree pose. If it's easy for you today, you can try closing your eyes. Once again, not being attached to the outcome of perfection, allowing the pose to move as it is, or maybe you even fall out of the pose. You can just come right back in with a new light, a new energy. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, taking hands together at heart center and releasing 2 feet into the mat. Okay, shaking it out if you'd like, or rolling out that ankle. And coming to the front of your mat in mountain, opening up the palms, spreading the fingers wide like rays of the sun, and taking a deep breath in, reaching the arms out and up. And as you exhale, swan dive down, bend the knees, lead with your heart, and folding into your legs. As you inhale, we'll lift halfway to make the spine straight and long. And as you exhale, plant your hands and step your feet back, coming into downward facing dog. So we've worked our way into a deep hip opening stretch. We did pigeon on our back earlier, and now we're going to do our full pigeon posture. So on the inhale, let's lift the right leg high, coming into a three-legged dog. And as you exhale, take the outer edge of your right foot and land it behind your left hand, dropping your right knee down wherever it wants to fall. And then dropping your left knee down. Seeing if you can scoot your back knee a little bit further back and uncurl your back toes. Inhale, we'll puff up our chest like a pigeon, nice and tall and proud. And on the exhale, we'll come down into a deeper stretch on our elbows. So just starting to monitor yourself here, noticing where you're feeling the stretch. You should be feeling the stretch in your outer right hip. If you're feeling the stretch in your knee, you might like to back off of this pose. You can always come onto your back and do the variation that we did at the beginning of class, on our back with our ankle over our knee. If this is sustainable for you, maybe you need a little bit of support. It's always okay to wedge a blanket or a pillow underneath your right hip, because what we don't want to be doing is sitting on our right hip like this. So if you notice, my hips now have turned to an open angle, and I want my hips to be facing forwards in the stretch. So you can either wedge that blanket or pick your body weight up, and just making sure that you're facing forwards. If it's comfortable and you need a little bit more, make a pillow with your hands and rest your forehead all the way down. Starting to breathe deeply into the place of your body that you're feeling the stretch. Imagining like your breath is clearing out your outer hip. Just as the wind might move the leaves around and eventually sweep them away, think about your breath moving around in your outer right hip and sweeping away any tension that you might be holding on to. One more breath. And then to release the posture, we'll begin to climb back up into our hands. Our hands are shoulder width apart, fingers spreading wide, curling the back toes under, lifting the back knee, and then lifting the hips to step the right foot back to meet the left. And you can begin to pedal out your legs a little bit, bending one knee and then the other, bringing some fresh oxygenated blood flow back into the right side. Pause in your downward dog, take a deep breath in, and a slow breath out. And we'll try out the other side. Inhale, lifting the left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, the left foot lands behind the right hand, and the left knee falls down. We'll drop the back knee, and if we can scoot it back just a little bit further, you can give that a try. Uncurl the back toes. Inhale, puffing up the chest like a pigeon, lifting up through the heart. And as you exhale, melting down deeper into the stretch, maybe elbows, maybe forehead comes down. Your body will tell you exactly where it wants to be. Taking a few breaths into your outer left hip on this side, clearing, cleansing, and letting go of whatever you've stored. Years and years of stress maybe has been stored in the hips. So we're just peeling away one layer at a time in order to access the vitality that lies within this major joint of the body. Taking another breath. Feeling free to hold this one as long as you'd like. When you are ready to release, gently pressing up through those hands. And this time we're going to come into a sitting position. So you can sit on your left hip and then swing your right leg around and find a nice comfortable seat. Whether that's legs crossed or legs extended is completely up to you. And sitting up nice and tall. So we've talked a lot today about how some stress in our life can physically manifest in the body and sink down towards the hips and be stored in the hips. But we also want to think about maybe the current stress in our life that might be sitting right up on top of the shoulders. Okay, so maybe before we move into our relaxation today, we can just kind of brush off any extra tension that might be sitting on top of the shoulders to help us move into a nice, peaceful relaxation. So we'll go ahead and work on some neck rolls to help release the shoulders, the neck, and the upper back, where that current stress might lie. You can close your eyes as you inhale, sitting up nice and tall. And as you exhale, dropping the right ear down to the right shoulder and moving the chin towards the chest. Inhale the left ear to the left shoulder and rising back up. Let's take one more round of that at your own pace, always feeling free to pause at any point in the movement, or maybe even slowing way down to a part that feels really good. Inhaling to rise back up when you're ready, and exhale to take those neck rolls in the opposite direction a couple of times. One more time around, nice and slow, nice and gentle through your body. Good. We'll rise right back up to a nice, comfortable seat. And we're going to transition onto our back. So you can go ahead and bend your knees, take your feet onto the mat, and we'll just gently roll down one vertebrae at a time, coming into the mat. Let's finish our physical practice today with a twist. So we're going to take our arms out to a T beside us, and then bring the knees into the chest. Take an inhale here. And as you exhale, we'll lower the knees down towards the right side. A little closer to the right elbow will be a little deeper of a twist, and turning the head to the left side. You can stay here, or if you'd like, you can use your right hand to gently press your knees down. Thinking about this twist as wringing out any excess, any extra tension or toxins that might still be clinging or holding on. You can think about this as like wringing out a dirty dish rag, letting go of all the excess until the dish rag feels clean or pure again. Taking another breath into your belly. And then with the arms up to a T, inhale the knees back to center. And as you exhale the breath, take the knees to the left side. Remember, maybe a little closer to the left elbow, but don't force it. Turning your head to the right. Feeling free to use your left hand to press your knees down if you like. And thinking here, once again, about wringing out the spine. You can think about the two different energies above and below your belly button. Every time you exhale, below the belly button is moving to the left, and above the belly button is opening up to the right. So you can think about your right ribs spiraling down, your right shoulder, your head and your neck. Taking another breath here. And then with your arms out to a T, we'll inhale the knees back to center and exhale to lower the feet down into the mat. Let's set up for our final resting pose, corpse pose. So we'll extend our legs long onto the mat. Feet will come about mat width distance. You can take your palms to face up, maybe even pushing into the back of your head to tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. Closing your eyes. And we're going to do a little bit of tension into release so we can truly feel the difference between the two. So go ahead and curl your fingers in, creating a fist with your hands. You might like to point your toes. You might like to flex your feet, something that helps you to bring some tension and engagement all the way up through the legs. Squeeze your belly. You can squeeze your shoulders and your face curling in. Inhale. And as you exhale, let it all go. Feeling that surrender washing over your body. Letting go in your whole body, even in your face, your jaw, your forehead. Letting go of its grip. Softening into the mat. If your mind begins to wander in this posture, you can use a mantra. A mantra is a word or a phrase that you can come back to and repeat numerous times in your mind to help you focus. Today's mantra is let go. So as you inhale the breath, you can think the word let. And as you exhale the breath, the word go. Inhaling, let. Exhaling, go. Sinking into your final relaxation. Let's slowly return to our body with a deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth, let it go. Starting to make some movements at your fingers and your toes. Maybe rubbing your thumbs along the pads of your fingers, reawakening your body. If you'd like, you can circle out the wrists and the ankles. And then invite in a full body stretch, walking your feet together and reaching your arms back long behind you, stretching like you just awoke from a deep rest. Inhale. Exhale, bend the knees, walk the feet onto the mat, and let's roll over onto our right side. You can use your right arm as a pillow and just touch the earth with the left hand in front of your heart, feeling that deeper connection and vibration. As we let go of the things that don't serve us in our life, we find a trusting element. You can trust the earth as you feel held here by its energy. And then keeping your body very heavy, using minimal energy, can extend the top leg, let the head come up last as you gently press your way up to a comfortable seated position on your mat.
Whether the legs are crossed or extended, just finding somewhere that you can sit up nice and tall through your spine. And as we've made it, let's inhale, sweep the arms out and up for the sky. And exhale, feeling that calming energy as you settle the hands down in front of your heart. So today's practice was all about non-attachment, or letting go of the thoughts, the actions, the words that you might be saying that aren't actually serving you, that might be taking you away from the joy that lies inside of you always. So when we can let go, we can start to access the joy that's always present in this moment. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. The light in me sees the light in you. Namaste, y'all.